you did in the off season to get in better shape?
I mean, I think last year for myself and the team as a whole was a little bit disappointing. I just realized that we needed to change, so our whole culture has kind of changed here. We work a lot harder. I lost a little bit of weight, so we'd be a little bit quicker. I know last year I played decent against them, but I couldn't really make too much of an impact because I wasn't very quick or anything like that. So I wanted to make a bigger impact, just running up and down the field so we could get some points. So, we didn't have much of a scout on them, so we kind of just tried to focus on what we do, and it worked out for us. So we did pretty well.
Tyler, when did you learn you were starting goalie, and how did it feel at the first quarter? Did you have any nerves early on?
So I found out yesterday, actually. But, I felt good going into the game. I was just trying to relax and stay focused, and my defense played great out there and allowed them to take low-angle shots at me, which allowed me to do as well as I could in the net. So I felt really good out there, especially thanks to the defense.
The rule changes, I guess the clearing game becomes a little more important now with the rule changes, I guess.
Yeah. So we have to, pushing the ball upfield. We have a short time to do it, and I thought our defense was doing a great job getting the ball upfield, moving it quick. And we were pretty successful today on the clears. Only 4 failed clears today, so really good job on that.
Collectively, Coach Petramala said that his team sort of was in a fight, and they didn't really fight back. Did you guys sense that they were down and really keep the pedal to the metal, so to speak, collectively?
Yeah. I felt like as we started putting in more goals and stopping them on defense, they were starting to get down on themselves, and we just kept the foot on the pedal and just kept putting them in and playing great defense the whole game.
Koby, can you talk about the defense, especially after the first quarter? You guys certainly just allowed 4 goals after that. Talk about that effort.
Coming out of the first quarter, we had a little slow start, went down, and then as soon as we hit that second quarter, we went down the rest of the game. And we've put together as a team, and honestly, we worked really hard through the fall, in the preseason. We put in a lot of effort with our new coach, Coach Grossi, and honestly, we were just playing as a team.
How comfortable did you feel now moving to close defense? And again, are the rules helping you a little bit in terms of your speed?
Yeah, absolutely. I played a lot of close defense back in high school. So playing LSM here was kind of like my first time ever playing LSM last year. And playing close this year is just a lot more comfortable for me, honestly. And with the new clearing rules, I get to stay on the field and make an effort to do more in transition.
I know you were a pretty good shooter before, but did you improve that?
The offense is definitely helping out, though. Our goalie's in the cage with Canto hitting me out early. It's kind of awesome, being able to get down the extra field or the other end of the field and shoot my shot.
Brendan, what was the key to your outburst today?
My teammates. Alex was phenomenal on the wings. Canto and Koby did a great job pushing transition, and they just put me in great positions to score. Coach Gallardi put a great scout in for us this week, and we executed the game plan perfectly. The guys did a really good job moving the ball, just making that extra pass.
What do you feel the difference is offensively this year?
We're moving a lot faster, and we're a lot more free-flowing. In years past, we've kind of been just a 6-on-6 team. We like to possess the ball a lot, really grind defenses down and try to get the best shot possible. Coach is kind of giving us the reins, and he's letting us play pretty free out there. I know Brody, Luke, Tim Montgomery, myself, Grant, all those guys. We're all excited about how he's let us kind of do what we are capable of doing.
And what was the change going from the first quarter to the second quarter?
I think there was a little bit of nerves. A few guys didn't get that much time last year, and then we kind of just settled down. We got a few good looks. We knew that we probably should have finished on them in the first quarter, and then we were just talking in the huddle. We knew we would continue to get good looks with the way we were playing, and the ball just started going in, and I think we got really confident after that.
Brendan, you talked about the good scout you had going into this week. Were the matchup differences in terms of athleticism and size noticeable for you guys? Was that something you were able to take advantage of going against their midfield and defensive midfield?
Yeah, we're super athletic in the midfield this year. We've been talking about it all year, and I think we really took advantage of that. The midfield, they usually initiate for the most part, and they did a great job beating their man on contact, and we really got that moving. Once we started getting them moving, we got really great looks.
Alex, in the second quarter, it didn't seem like Johns Hopkins got much possession. How much do you think that played a role in the eight-goal outburst in the second quarter?
I mean, I think our whole team kind of came together in that quarter. I think face-offs helped a little bit. I felt myself getting into a groove, and I mean, the face-offs, me, the wings. Once we get in a groove, I mean, that's when we were at our best. So I think it had a pretty good impact in the game.
Yeah. Excited for our team to start out the 2019 season with a win. Didn't really honestly know what to expect as we're kind of hitting the field. I knew we had experience and good players throughout the entire field, but we hadn't, I think, really showed or had an opportunity to really play a lot of full field throughout the preseason to really gauge where we're going to be at, which was different than the fall, with a lot of stuff we were implementing. So it's good to see our guys take advantage of it as we got healthier moving into this week. And, it showed with a strong effort today, and we're propelled by Alex Woodall.
Coach, did you see this type of firepower in your offense coming into the season and what you saw in the preseason?
Coming out of the fall, yes. When we scrimmaged Navy and Richmond in the fall, and I think it was after and John would know this better than I would, after the third quarter, I think against Navy, we had upwards of like 40 to 50 shots. And you guys have been covering our team. We're not a volume shooting team, but we were trying to play with a little bit more tempo from defense to offense, trying to play a little bit more assertiveness on the offensive end, even 6-on-6. So, and I didn't think we were trying to, a couple shots today that I can recall weren't great shots, but I think we're just encouraging the guys to, spin the ball, and when you get your hands free and you got a good opportunity to do it. But I think a lot of our extra possessions, extra opportunities really came from transition from defense to offense or Alex, out of the face-off X.
What did you see in Canto that gave him the starting nod yesterday, basically?
We scrimmaged Bucknell first, January 26th, and we actually started Jake Stout in that game. Jake was solid, and then Canto came in the fourth quarter, and then he played against York College for a couple quarters, and he just seemed more comfortable out there. We ended up starting Canto against Virginia last weekend in a scrimmage, and again, he's 6'6", and he's still got a lot to work on, but he fills up the net pretty well, and I think after that first quarter, he settled in. I was a little, to be honest with you, I was a little concerned. A couple of them that went in, if we might have had to make a move, but just seeing him, eat a couple and then get his stick on it, he just looked like he, took a deep breath, settled in, and gave us a lot of confidence, which he had up to this point to get him to have him earn to be the starter.
Do you think he got in their heads a little bit? Some of the low saves he made, considering the size he is.
Yeah, I think that's anything for a big goalie, especially a tall one. Teams are going to challenge him low. It's hard for those guys to get there. As he talked about, the low angle stuff helps, because he does cover up those angles pretty well. But that's something that was I think a big confidence booster for him to get a couple of those.
Shawn, when your team gets on a roll, how much of an advantage is it to have that face-off guy that keeps the other team from immediately gaining some momentum?
I think it's big, in the game. And with the shot clock now, haven't played MLL, NLL, and that's like 30 seconds. Sometimes the face-off doesn't really matter as much because you're going to get the ball back quicker, but with an 80-second clock and things like that, I still think it has a bit more of an impact. It just wears down your defense. Alex, with the momentum that he gave us today was impressive, and especially a guy that was, banged up coming into it. And, but again, he's a competitive kid that worked hard to put himself in that position for the team, so couldn't be happier about that.
Coach, you guys were down 4-2 early in the game, and then your defense stepped up. You guys kept Hopkins scoreless for over a quarter. What aspect or aspects do you think stuck out from them the most to allow them to succeed so much and force so many turnovers?
Well, I think one of the big swings was, as we talked about Alex, I'm just looking at the stats here, and, he goes 6 for 8. He has a really strong first half, and we took advantage of that through the second and third quarters. So that really helped our defense, obviously, not have to play as much. We've been on the flip side of that, kind of to Stan's point, when you don't have a strong face-off kind, you got to play a lot of defense. It wears you down, as much as you want to make those stops. So that was a big piece. I think the guys, we definitely kind of reined it back in a little bit defensively. Coach Grossi did a good job getting our guys to hey, we were getting a little bit out of sorts, a little extended where we didn't need to. We buckled down and played a little bit more, a little stronger man-to-man, and a little bit better in the pick game and collapsed on the crease when they were feeding. So we really did a good job, I think, adjusting and then being able to, kind of rally around each other with a better team effort.
Shawn, I know most teams want to be a first quarter team, but could you guys be a second quarter team? Is that something that could have some success?
I've always been a big believer. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. And obviously I want to play as strong as you can. We want to play as strong as we can from start to finish. But the way that we responded when they, pumped in a goal and we were able to make a stop or, get a face-off and goal or something. So there's no doubt. Obviously, this is the first game. It's a good win. We still got, a lot to work on and clean up. Even though we were, good out of the defensive end in our clears, we still, as they kind of slowed us up a little bit, I thought our decision making wasn't great there, which led to a few of our failed clears. But again, we'll take an effort like this against a strong team and come out with a win.
Coach Petramano compared this game to a boxing match and said you guys hit him in the mouth, basically. That's sort of the MO, 43 to 18 on ground balls. Is this sort of a kind of an edgy team that's going to play like that and just really go after guys?
I believe so. We still got a lot to be tested upon to see, if we're, really a boxing team or not. But I think the mentality of our guys, the personnel that we have, especially the senior class, 4 seniors are captains, and those guys are, gritty, hard-nosed guys. And the senior class has really taken the reins from literally when they were leaving campus last spring. Over the summer and then how we return. So these guys are hungry. These guys are ready for practice. They come out and they compete. They compete against each other. Practices are gritty. They're edgy. And that's our DNA as a program.
Shawn, I'm sorry. What's the outlook for Shane? How serious is he?
He's definitely improving. He's gone from being kind of immobilized and crutches to now he's walking on it and stuff. So he's in pretty good progress for where we're at. I don't know kind of where the end road what that looks like yet, but he's moving along where he needs to.
I guess my follow-up then is, do you anticipate that he'll be able to return this season?
I hope so. Yeah, that's the hope.
Can you talk about the improvements of Koby Smith? What he's done from last year this year?
Yeah, Koby. Koby last year in this situation, he had 2 weeks of practice in a Division I program before he stepped on the field against Hopkins as a long stick starter. So now he's had a full season, full fall ball and everything. He's a terrific athlete. He's ultra competitive. He's that kid that, at times you got to try to calm down, but, it's awesome that you don't have to, poke the bear too much. He's going to go out there and compete and get after guys, and, you got to get him to, at times, play a little bit more controlled and within himself and within the team. But he's a guy that can add a spark. He's one of those guys that you love that if you get on, he's going to respond. If he makes a mistake, he knows it, but if you let him hear about it, he'll take it, and then he's going to respond with a really positive play, and then you'll kind of look at him and be like, hey, I got this, I got this. I know what you're talking about. So, Jeff.
Okay. Shawn, how important was it to see the depth of your offense today in terms of contributions? McLean had 3 goals, McLean 2 had a goal, except a couple of those guys. Just seeing contributions coming from the deep in the offense.
Yeah, Coach Gallardi does a great job making sure all 6 guys are moving and working as one. And wherever the opportunities come from, all those guys have to be ready to make those plays, whether it be making a one-more pass, initiating the dodge and moving it if they slide, or if you don't have anything and kicking it. So I thought we played fairly unselfish today. Our guys, I didn't look exactly at the stats, but shooting percentage and stuff. We put balls on net. Again, I didn't at times, I don't think we challenged them as well as we could have when we had our hands free. A lot of high to high, and didn't make the goalie really have to work. But when we did make them work, it usually turned out to be successful for us. And that's something that Coach G did a good job preaching to the guys. And that that was there's going to be something we continue to address. But from a year ago where we weren't as experienced offensively to seeing what that looks like now with those guys that have played and getting on the field and making plays and capitalizing with goals is where we want to be.
Shawn, I know it's early, but have you sensed what kind of impact has the shot clock had?
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's obviously everybody's adjusting to it and doing certain things. For us, we planned on kind of playing this way. I think it forced us to maybe do it a little bit quicker. We knew we had some pretty good athletes coming back at the midfield, and being, self-reflecting and assessing where we were last year, we got exposed by great teams like UMass that could push out of transition, and those guys were terrific at that. So we kind of, learned our lessons there, and like, hey, we got to be ready for that, and we got to, we think we have the players through the middle of the field that can help us, get back on defense and play transition defense or spark it out of the offensive or into the offensive end. So the shot clock, I think, is in a way, forced us to be a little bit more aggressive than what we already were planning to be. But it helps, at both ends of the field, try to play as efficient as possible. If you're playing tough defense, you got 10 seconds left to make a stop. You really dig in and scrap for those. We try to go 11 seconds and make sure we finish out that that play.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Shawn?
Yep. Thank you, guys.